All right, today we are going to demystify one of the most powerful tools in the entire digital world, search engine marketing, or SEM for short. This is the strategy that can take a business from being totally invisible online to being the very first thing a potential customer sees. So let's dive right in. Okay, picture this. You've just launched your dream business. Let's say it's a restaurant. The food? Incredible. The service is absolutely top-notch. You've got that shiny new open sign hanging in the window. You are completely ready for customers to start rolling in. But here's the big question, right? In today's world, with a million choices at our fingertips, how does a hungry customer find your restaurant on their phone instead of the one down the street? Yeah, just being open for business. That's not enough anymore. So the answer is pretty simple, actually. You have to meet them where they already are. And where is that? Well, they're on search engines, right? This is exactly where search engine marketing, or SEM, comes into play. It is, without a doubt, the most direct way to get your business found online. Okay, so what is SEM exactly? Well, at its core, it's the strategy of using paid ads to make sure your business shows up on those search engine results pages. Think about it. When someone is actively looking for what you sell, SEM lets you pay to be right there at the very top of their screen. Now, you've probably heard of its cousin, SEO, and it's easy to get them mixed up. But the key difference is actually pretty simple. SEM is all about paid advertising. It's fast and you get immediate results. SEO, on the other hand, that's search engine optimization, that's about earning your spot in the non-paid or organic search results. It's a much slower process, a long-term game. Here's a good way to think about it. SEM is like renting a billboard on a busy highway. SEO is like building a landmark that people naturally come to visit over time. Okay, so before you spend a single penny, you have got to ask yourself one crucial question. What am I actually trying to achieve here? You see, effective SEM isn't just about getting a bunch of clicks. It's about getting the right clicks, the ones that are actually going to drive your real-world business goals. This is where we translate those big, kind of fuzzy business goals into concrete, measurable actions. So let's say your big goal is to increase sales. Okay, great. Your SEM objective then becomes something you can actually track, like increase our ad clicks by 15%. And for the customer, well, this just means they get super easy direct access to the exact products they were looking for. It really is a win-win. All right, so think about this. Every time you search for something, how do engines like Google or Bing decide which ad gets that top spot? You might think it's just the highest bidder, but it's actually way more interesting than that. It's a super fast, invisible auction that happens millions of times every single second. The whole process can really be broken down into 3 key steps. First, you, the advertiser, you bid on keywords that are relevant to your business. Second, the search engine itself scores your ad's quality. It's looking at things like how relevant your ad is and what the experience is like on your website after someone clicks. And finally, step 3, the winner is chosen, and it's based on the best combination of your bid and that quality score. And that right there is the crucial point, this whole idea of ad quality. A super relevant, high-quality ad can actually beat out a competitor who's bidding more but has a lousy ad. Why? Because search engines want to show people useful stuff, even in the ads. And here's the best part. Better ad quality can actually mean you pay less for a better position on the page. It's a huge deal. Now, how you pay is directly tied to what you're trying to do. If your main goal is to get people to visit your website, you're probably going to use a cost-per-click model, or CPC. That means you only pay when someone actually clicks on your ad. But if your goal is just to get your name out there for brand awareness, you might use a model called cost per impression, or CPM, where you're just paying for your ad to be seen by people. And here's what this actually looks like out in the wild. On the left, you've got Google, and on the right, you've got Bing. You can see they both clearly mark the paid results as ads, but the look and feel, the layout can be a little different. But don't let that fool you. Those core principles we just talked about, the ad auction and ad quality, they are absolutely running the show on both platforms. All right, let's move on to what is, without a doubt, the absolute foundation of any SEM campaign, keywords. You can think of these as the bridge, right? They're the words and phrases that connect what your customer is thinking about with the solution your company offers. So let's take a look. If someone just types a super broad, general keyword into the search bar, something like bikes, what do they see? Well, you get these huge national retailers, massive online stores. It's an incredibly crowded and competitive space to be in. But now,
Watch what happens when that search gets just a little more specific. Bike shops in Cyprus. Bam! All of a sudden, the results are local, they're highly relevant, and they're way more useful for someone who's actually there and ready to buy. That's the power of being specific.
So it's actually really helpful to think about keywords in a few different buckets. You've got your general keywords, broad stuff like shoes. Then you have branded keywords for when people are already looking for you, like Nike shoes. Long-tail keywords are those super specific, longer phrases, like best running shoes for flat feet. These often mean someone's ready to buy. And last but not least, and this one is so important, are negative keywords. These are the words you tell the search engine to exclude, so you don't waste money on clicks that have nothing to do with your business. Okay, this is where you really get to control who sees your ad. It's all about match types. So broad match is kind of like casting a really wide fishing net. Your ad for snow boots might show up if someone searches for winter footwear. Phrase match is a lot more targeted. And exact match? Well, that's like a laser beam. It shows your ad only when someone types in that exact phrase or something incredibly close to it. Okay, so you've got your goals down, you've picked your keywords. So how do you actually put all of this together? The secret is having a well-organized account. That's the key to managing your budget and making sure the right ads get in front of the right people. A really good campaign structure flows logically from broad to specific. At the very top, you have your account. That's your whole business. Underneath that, you have campaigns, which might be for big promotions, like, say, lunch specials. And then, inside each campaign, you have ad groups for really specific offers, like your $4.99 deals. This structure is what keeps everything tidy and working effectively.
All right, let's bring this all home. What's the real value in all of this? Why does any of this stuff matter? It's all about one thing: closing the gap between a customer's need and your solution, and doing it instantly.
And here is a perfect example of this in action. Someone gets hungry, they search for Domino's Pizza. Look at what pops up. The ad doesn't just give them a phone number. It can give them a map, it can show them reviews, and it can give them a direct link to order online right now. SEM is all about removing friction and just making it incredibly easy for a customer to do what they want to do. And that really is the whole point. That's the magic of search engine marketing. It all comes down to timing and intent. You aren't interrupting someone's day with an ad they don't want to see. You're providing a solution at the exact moment they've basically raised their hand and said, "Hey, I need help with this." So, from now on, when you see that little ad tag at the top of your search results, you'll know the complex, lightning-fast strategy that put it there. The only question left is, now that you know how it works, how will you use that same power to help your customers find you? Thanks for joining me for this explainer.